So yes, the lighting is a little spooky. I have a dark lip on because it's how I feel. Anyways, but I'm bringing to you guys another tutorial. So I hope you like this one. And following this video, it's going to be a review on Makeup Forever's Plexi Gloss, as well as a couple of the new shades from Kat Von D's liquid lip stains. So stay tuned. Okay, nothing new here. I'm using my Step 1 Smoothing Primer from Makeup Forever. It is one of my favorite primers, so that's why I use it. It's not necessarily a mattifying primer, but it will aid in controlling my oil. It's like the next step up from the mattifying primer, so yeah. I find it works wonders. Looking for stuff, so I had to cut the video, but we're back with my Clinique eyebrow pencil, which is like my go-to because it's not too thin, it's not too big, and it's retractable. And it just happens to be the right color for me, so out of their 3 colors, very minimal. I will say I have used the Anastasia brow powder, and if you want like some for real fleek eyebrows, get that. It's like amazing. But I take my Clinique pen everywhere with me, so it's just more convenient for me that way. Then my number 14 Makeup Forever concealer with my EcoTools angled liner brush that I'm using to define my brows. Going back in, touching up, doing a little here and there. Define. And blend. Define and blend. Define and blend. And you know, because of my hyperpigmentation and my acne scarring, I use a lot of concealer to, well, you know, conceal those dark spots and give me more of an even finish, because I don't know what it is. I don't like using thick foundation. So I use the Makeup Forever HD, which is more of a medium coverage, and I use their full cover concealer to cover up my dark spots, which I know it may sound contradictory, but it feels better than just using a thick full cover foundation. And so now I'm just putting on my HD foundation. And for those of you who are wondering, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but the color I use is R510, previously known as 175 for those of you who have used the Makeup Forever HD foundation before. This is just the new name for it, which is, again, R510. And I'm using my Sephora Collection number 56 brush, and I am using a patting motion, not necessarily a sweeping or smoothing motion. I will say that they recommend you use the flat brush for that, the Makeup Forever flat brush for that foundation. But I get good coverage out of my number 56 Sephora Collection. Now right there is the HD concealer. I'm using that to highlight. And I've actually mixed it in with my full cover foundation. No. Yeah, I mixed it in with my full cover concealer. And so I actually like the consistency that you get when you mix them together, as opposed to the HD by itself. And then I'm taking the darkest color, number 20, from the full cover concealers from Makeup Forever, and I'm using that to contour. And I just want to say, the only thing that I did not buy myself was one of my HD foundations, but I have 2 of them. I bought them myself. Everything that I have for Makeup Forever, I bought myself, with the exception of one of my 2 HD foundations, which are the exact same color. I felt like I needed a backup because it just gave me that much life. And my purple Plexi gloss. Other than that, all the stuff I bought myself, from down to the concealers, which are like 20 bucks a piece, as well as my mattifying powder and my Plexi glosses, all that, I bought it myself. So don't think that it was given to me, I bought that. And different from the last video, I'm using my Mercer setting powder. Like I said before, there's no rhyme or reason to me picking between my two setting powders. Those are just my favorite setting powders. And they both work really well. So just depending on what day, I may just pick Laura Mercier because it begins with an L. Like, between the two, I can't pick a favorite, so don't ask me to. Now I'm using my bronzer. The kabuki brush is for like when you dust the apples of your cheek, but today I am using my duo-sided contour brush from Urban Decay because I'm using it to just go over where I contoured with my full cover concealer. I'm not using it to give me that sun-kissed look, or else I'd be using the kabuki brush. Right there is the HD Pro Sculpting Duo. Like I said before, the highlighter is amazing. Gives me life. I will look at other highlighters for you guys, but right now I'm just feeling that one, and it's just been my go-to for everything. So yeah. There, I picked out one of the eyeshadows in my... Actually, that was the Urban Decay Smoked palette. Not the new Smoky. The older one that was zipped up that came from Ulta. That had like the liner in it. And that first color I used was Freestyle. And in my crease, I'm using the brown color BackDoor. Both of those can be found on the top row. And then I'm blending into it Barlust, which is in the lower left hand corner of that palette. So yeah, I really like this palette. I like it better than the newer one, the Smoky, that they put out with Naked. This is the one I have, Smoked Urban Decay, is not from the Naked line. And then in my tear ducts, I'm using that champagne color that I have in my Z palette from Sephora collection. That one, again, was the number 71. And then under my, like in my waterline, kind of, I'm using this bright purple, like fuchsia color from Marc Jacobs. And unfortunately, I do not know the name of that one. I went back in and put a little bit of blush in, and then blended that in with my Pro Sculpting Duo. And then there you'll see me using my Ciati eyeliner. It's two-sided. One side has like a little crayon type texture one. The other side is a felt tip pen. And I like the felt tip pen because it's stiff and it's actually kind of big, so it joke. It's stiffer, so it broke there too. That was like crazy. But it's stiffer, so it's easier to use, believe it or not, because I can just lay it down on its side and just sweep. There is my Roller Lash mascara from Benefit. That one gives me good curl, good definition, not clumpy, not super volumized, but it's good for separation and curl. And then I got a little bit on the bridge of my nose, so I'm just going back in and touching up my nose. Freaking out a little bit, but it was good. Then on top of that, I'm putting the Grandiose, give me a little bit more volume. But because of its declumping formula, it's not going to like clump up and take away from the separation. There is my bright pink Hello Kitty mascara that I'm just using in my lash line, my lower lash line, just because I use the Marc Jacobs, so it kind of matches. And then my purple Plexi gloss from Makeup Forever. Thank you guys for watching.